Organize. Hello, everyone. I think we are absolutely ready to rock today. Tech check is being done first. Microphone, I think, is working. Camera, I think, is working. So let me know in the chat box if you can hear me and you can see me as well. Thank you very much for joining us all today. My name's Scott. I'm the managing director and expert IELTS teacher of Swoosh English. And we are here today in partnership with Connetics USA as one of the special IELTS scholarship providers for Connetics USA. So you're all incredibly welcome to this session today, and thanks a lot for coming along. So make sure that you're sending comments in throughout this 1 hour session. I want it to be nice and interactive and nice and fun as well. We got a few people have said hello. We got Sabita. Hello, Sabita. Welcome to the session today. Good to hear that you can see me and that you can hear me too. So yeah, welcome. It's an IELTS speaking session today, and I can't wait to get stuck into today's lesson with you and talk about all the special things that Connetics USA and Swoosh English are doing for you and your IELTS preparation for all of you lovely nurses around the world looking to move to the USA for your American dream job. Hello, Tassila. Tassila's also said loud and clear. Welcome to the session today, and thank you very much for joining me. Tassila has said also, I'm from Zambia. Welcome. And we've got Heidi has also said, hello, watching from Riyadh in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Well, welcome, everyone. Keep the comments coming in. The Connetics team and the Swoosh team will be reading them, and we look forward to seeing them as well. So let's just get stuck into today's session today. We're doing an IELTS speaking masterclass with Swoosh English in partnership with Connetics USA as part of this lovely initiative called the Connetics College, in which Connetics USA alongside Swoosh English and other providers are looking to get you prepared for your NCLEX and your IELTS exam. How lovely is that? So let's get stuck into today's session. Lots of things to go through. But first and foremost, I want to know a bit more about you guys. So I've got a big question on the screen. I want you to type your comments into the chat box and let me know your answer as well. Firstly, are you a qualified and experienced nurse looking for your dream healthcare job in the USA? Let me know what your answer is to this. If it's you, then type me into the chat box. If you are a qualified and experienced nurse and you're looking for your dream healthcare job in the USA, type me into the chat box. I want to see lots of me's coming throughout this session today, as I've got something very, very special to share to you guys very, very soon. So yep, I'm seeing some me's come in. Keep the me's coming in. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Fantastic. A good number of you are looking to make that next step in your careers. Good. The next question I have for you is about the IELTS exam. Are any of you struggling with your IELTS preparation? Are you finding it difficult? Are you finding it confusing? Are you finding it overwhelming? Are you looking for additional feedback and support with a good course structure, access to expert teachers to get your IELTS instruction? But if you are struggling, type struggle into the chat box, please. Let me know, guys, if you are currently struggling with your IELTS preparation as well. Okay, yep, a good number of you are sending in struggle as well. That's unfortunate, but I got some good news coming up very, very soon. You don't need to struggle much longer when it comes to your IELTS preparation. Final question, guys, is if you are looking to move to the USA and you want to pass your IELTS exam and you want to get your dream job for completely free, please type please into the chat box. Type please into the chat box if that's what you are interested in. Please into the chat box and let me know if you're looking to move to the USA, pass your IELTS exam, and do everything else in that process in one fell swoop, ideally for free. Please, it's obvious, guys. A lot of you are saying please to me. Of course, if you could do all of this for free, then wouldn't that be an absolute dream come true? Well, the good news to everyone who has said please, etc., is, well, you can. I want to introduce very quickly at the start of this session the free Connetics Swoosh English IELTS scholarship. That's right, a free IELTS scholarship in line with us at Swoosh English, supplied by Connetics USA. How amazing is this? What will you get as part of this completely free scholarship? Well, first and foremost, you're going to get access to a complimentary IELTS review course supplied by us at Swoosh English. You'll get access to free IELTS classes on a weekly basis covering all skills, hosted by expert IELTS teachers. You get access to free study groups and free study partners. We'll match you with someone who's nearby you in your country or someone else, entirely what you want. We got a free Facebook group that will share motivational content and stories and additional content to you as well as a WhatsApp or Telegram group too. So we keep you all nice and motivated all together and realize, hey, the IELTS preparation procedure shouldn't be a very lonesome experience. Actually, it could be done much nicer for everyone else. You'll get access to a support specialist from Connetics who will help you out with everything that you need, as well as our support team at Swoosh English. And nicely, we also offer a monthly IELTS raffle for Connetics scholars to get additional prizes and perks. How nice is that? So a bit more about the course itself. Well, we at Swoosh English, we've been around since 2013. We're an OET premium preparation provider, but also an IELTS endorsed provider as well. And we're going to give you access to a scholarship course that has 8 modules with milestone tests designed to help you learn what you need to do to pass your IELTS exam across all skills. We'll give you access to video courses. We'll give you access to live classes. We'll give you access to mock exams and additional material, all within a nice and learned dashboard. IELTS writing, we're covering speaking today, but IELTS writing is also a very tricky part of the IELTS exam. We'll give you access to 20 writing corrections as part of that IELTS course. So you get your IELTS Task 1 and Task 2 instructions marked 20 times throughout the course, plus more in our live classes. Point number 3, we have over 12 hours of IELTS preparation classes per week, taught by ex-IELTS examiners, and they cover all skills too. It's the cornerstone of our courses, access to native English-speaking teachers many, many times per week. As I mentioned, you also get access to mock exams and sample essays to compare your writing to. We'll match you with a speaking partner, and you'll get access to around-the-clock support from Swoosh and Connetics and more as part of our support package. We got many, many passing students as part of this scholarship. Just check out the Swoosh English and the Connetics USA Trust Pilot to see how well a job we are doing for providing all of this great material for free. So I'm sure you're interested, guys, but not just IELTS instruction we're going to give you as well. There is the success path to get you placed in a hospital of your choice throughout the USA as well. We'll help you prepare for the visa interview, the visa framework. We'll get you licensed, we'll get you credentialed. We'll get you set up for your game plan. We'll get you set on arrival, and you will enjoy and prosper your new job. So the IELTS scholarship is only one part of this course. Isn't that absolutely amazing, guys? All of this for completely free. If you're interested, guys, all you have to do is go to Connetics USA /application, or you'll see the link coming into the chat box, guys. There'll be a link coming into the chat box as well. Just simply click on that link, and it'll take you to the application process to get signed up. And I highly recommend that you do get signed up. Join Connetics and Swoosh for your American dream journey. How lovely is that? So guys, that's enough about that for now. Let's get into our IELTS class today. This will give you a nice little preview about what we at Swoosh English can offer you within the IELTS scholarship at Swoosh English. So in today's lesson, we're looking at speaking, and we're going to look first and foremost at how you can organize your ideas in part 2, the long-term question for IELTS, and one of the trickiest parts that lots of candidates find fairly difficult. And we're going to practice planning a part 2 answer together, and there'll also be a little bit of a chance for you to engage in some live practice for IELTS speaking part 2 today. How lovely is that? If you're enjoying this session today, make sure you like, comment, and follow both Swoosh English and Connetics USA on the Facebook or YouTube channel that you are watching, and show your support for everything that we are doing. Now, guys, first and foremost, before we get into our live practice today and the rest of this session, I want to just go through what's very important for you guys today is the speaking assessment criteria for the IELTS exam. Let me know in the chat box, guys, do you know the IELTS speaking assessment criteria well at this point? Do you think that you know it well? Say yes or no. I know it or I don't. Regardless if you do know it or don't know it, I want to go through a few ideas that you want to be able to achieve to get an IELTS band score of 7 or more in your IELTS speaking. Let's break it down. So first of all, we have pronunciation, then we have fluency and coherence, we have grammatical range and accuracy, and we have lexical resource. So pronunciation. Basically, you want to be able to pronounce your sounds and words accurately as possible in the IELTS speaking exam. You want to be natural and easy to understand. So a few top tips I have when you're doing your speaking in general is slow everything down just a little bit. Enunciate your words. Draw out those sounds, those vowels, those diphthongs, those nouns and those consonant blends. Draw out your sounds as naturally as possible and practice on your word stress, your syllable stress, and all aspects of pronunciation as well. Guess what, guys? I'm enunciating myself right now, even though I'm a native speaker, because it's important for clear communication. Secondly, we have fluency and coherence. Now, common myth that we have about the IELTS exam, and that is that fluency, I'm going to go full screen for this and go nice and close. Fluency is about speaking as fast as you can. That's only one element of speaking fluently. And if you speak too fast, what can happen? You can stumble over your words, you can trip in your words, and then your coherence disappears as well. So you want to be able to speak as quickly as you can, but also maintaining a nice, smooth rate of speech with as little hesitation, repetition, self-correction, and false starts as possible as well. So my top tip for fluency overall is for you guys to ideally speak at a natural pace. Think about the speed you speak at in your own language and just bring that down 10, 20, 30%. So you're not too fast and you're not too slow. That will also allow you to link your word sentence fragments and ideas more naturally together because you give your tongue a bit of a chance to catch up with your brain when you are speaking. But also you have to think about how you can link your speech together using connectors, cohesive devices, and other linkers together as well. We do all of that in the Swoosh English IELTS scholarship. We teach you how to logically connect your ideas together and various means that we can do so with that. Also, we got to think about your grammatical range and accuracy. So it's not just the level of grammar that you can use. For example, can you use the future perfect continuous? Can you use the passive voice linked with the third conditional, etc., etc.? It's also about your accuracy as well. To get a band score of 7 or above, you want to be able to use a good degree of complex structures and a good range of them. You are permitted to make mistakes at a band score of 7, but a nice range of simple and complex structures that are fairly easy to understand and minimizing your grammatical mistakes overall. And then finally, we have your lexical resource. That is the range of appropriate vocabulary that has been used accurately. So that's not just your complex vocabulary that you'll use for discussion, but it will also include your topical vocabulary as well. So for example, you're speaking about climate change, you want to use a variety of buzzwords and other key vocabulary terms to discuss climate change and whatever else topics you're speaking about accurately as well. We do all of that within the Swoosh English IELTS scholarship. There's a few things to keep in mind today. Learn the scoring criteria as well as you can so you know exactly how you are speaking and what you are aiming for. So let's go through now. We're going to talk a little bit about IELTS speaking part 2. And I've got a few top tips that we're going to use for IELTS speaking part 2 today. Just a reminder about what IELTS speaking part 2 is, guys. It is the long-term part of the IELTS speaking exam in which you are given a cue card and you have to discuss that cue card for 2 minutes, ideally. You can get away with speaking for about 90 seconds and possibly still get a good score in IELTS speaking part 2, but ideally you want to be making use of that 2 minutes as well as you can. The good news is that you will have 1 minute of preparation time to plan your answer, and that planning is a very, very important part of your IELTS speaking part 2 preparation. So make sure you don't miss out on learning the techniques, tips, strategies, and methods for IELTS speaking part 2 practice. So let's go into a few tips today on IELTS speaking part 2. So first of all, use your preparation time wisely. There's lots of ways that we can do this, but a few things that you want to do in your preparation time, of course, is take a note of the key words in the question. What is the topic asking you to do? What are the question words that you have to discuss? How many bullet points are there that you have to discuss? How much time will you have to give into each section in your planning and preparation? Okay. So of course, you are allowed to make notes in IELTS Speaking Part 2. You'll be given the cue card on the day. You can write on that. You will have a piece of paper and a pen ready if you're doing IELTS on paper, and you'll have a computer-based device if you want to do it on the computer as well. So 2 minutes of preparation time, analyzing the keywords in the question, thinking about the topics you're going to discuss, write them out in clear notes that you can then elaborate on them when you are speaking is very, very important. What you don't want to do for IELTS Speaking Part 2 is read pre-written answers. You need to be able to think and expand your notes on the fly effectively to get a band score 7 or above. If you are reading or memorizing answers, the IELTS examiners are trained to actually notice that, and they'll only give you a certain band score height for if you are seen to be doing that. So make sure that you avoid that. Then, of course, the last thing you want to do is you've planned all of your notes, you've written down your ideas. How can you organize them? How can you think about how you're going to speak about them in turn from the beginning to the end of your IELTS Part 2 speaking? So more about that now. How are we going to go into that now in our presentation? So firstly, let's look at an example of an IELTS Part 2 question. And the first step you want to do, as we've outlined, is look at these keywords, plan them, and discuss them. So over to you guys. The question, as you can see here, says, can you identify the keywords in this Part 2 question? So read through the card here, look at the format if it's new to you guys. Maybe it's not, you've been planning IELTS at this point already, and just write down on a piece of paper or make a mental note in your head what you think these key words are. Throw them into the chat box if you like as well. The Swoosh and Connetics team will be happy to read these as well. I'll certainly be reading them to see if you're on path. Just take a brief moment. What do you think the key words are? What are you trying to take note of? And how will that then help you in answering your questions later on in this session? So type your comments into the chat box just for a few seconds, and then we'll go into a bit of an analysis of what those keywords are to see how well you've got on with this activity. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how you guys get on in this chat box, okay? So guys, some comments are coming in. Lovely. Very good. Thank you very much. We're engaging in this activity. Just a few more seconds of analyzing what we think the keywords are, and then we'll go into looking at these comments and looking at these questions as part of our analysis. All right, guys, good. Thank you very much for taking part in this activity. So here are a few of the keywords that you want to identify. First and foremost, the topic, the thing that you will be discussing, is really, really important to analyze from the very beginning. And that is a memorable holiday. I'm describing a memorable holiday. So not just a holiday, but something that I remember incredibly well. After all, if it's memorable, it should be easy to speak about because you've got lots of material in your head. So the topic is super important. Likewise, the question words are super important as well. We have where you went, the location, the place, the country, the town, the area. Who you went with. Was it your family? Was it your friends? Was it your husband, your wife? Did you go on your own? Go into detail about who you went with. What you did. So give a recount of the events that you did. It might even be helpful if you went through them in chronological order. So I was on holiday for 3 days. The first day, I had breakfast. I went scuba diving. I went snorkeling. I went and had dinner. I went up hiking. I went out on a boat. Whatever you did on your holiday. And then finally, you're asked to explain why the holiday was memorable. What were the reasons that you find it memorable? So that's the question word why, the reasons for something. It was memorable because I had a really good time. It was the first time I went away with my husband. And I've always really wanted to go to country A, and it was a fantastic experience for me. We met friends out there, whatever your reasons were, okay? Generally, you should go through IELTS Speaking Part 2 in chronological order. There's no real need to mix it about. It flows quite well from beginning to end. That's something I always get asked too. Can I change the order? You can, but it's a bit complicated. So the topic has been identified and the question words have been identified, as well as the reason why at the very end. Memorable is our very, very important keyword. So take a note of that. So secondly, I've kind of gone through some ideas myself at this. Over to you guys. You've had a look now at the content keywords. Now it's up to you to think about, okay, well, I've got a few ideas of what the keywords are. What notes can I write down? I've been asked where I went, who I went with, what I did, and why it was memorable. I want you all now just to take part in this activity like you were doing this for real. And just write down a few keywords on a piece of paper about where you went, who you went with, what you did, why it was memorable. Now, the last few years, I don't think many people have gone on too many holidays, right? So hopefully your memory is more than 2 years. You can think about a holiday that happened many, many years ago. The good news about IELTS is that you don't actually have to tell the truth. It might be easier for you to tell the truth. You've got an actual example that you can think about. It might make it easier to speak about, but you don't have to tell the truth. You're not being connected to lie detectors in the IELTS exam. So you can make up a complete example. Make up a story, if you will. You can think about a random holiday you went with, where you went, who you went with, what you did, why it was memorable, if you like. But just make sure that your story is good when you're going through the planning process and you can talk about it. I still recommend that you think about something that truly was memorable because it will be easier to speak about than making up a story on the fly. But just keep a note of that you actually can do that if you want. So yeah, write down your notes. If you want, send some comments into the chat box as well. I look forward to having a look at the notes that you have written and we can take it from there. So send your comments into the chat box and we will have a look at them too. Thank you very much. Some lovely comments coming in. So that's step 2. Hopefully now you've identified the keywords, you've written down a few notes, a few things that you can speak about. Here are a few examples. So for example, I went to New Zealand. Who I went with my best friend from school. What I did, I went skydiving, I went on a boat trip, and I went hiking. Why was it memorable? Well, I always wanted to go to New Zealand. I met some people, an amazing experience with my best friends. So we got 8 points there that we can then elaborate inside our speaking part 2 practice. And that should be long enough if we elaborate on a complex sentence or 2 for each point before moving on to the real part. Okay, so just take a note of these things, the what and the why. We have 3 points for each. Okay, so you've made your notes. Now it's over to you to think about how we can organize all of these ideas together in our speaking. So in terms of how we organize speaking part 2, we can break down that part into 3 different parts. The introduction, which will be 1 or 2 sentences, absolute maximum. The main body, which if I go back to the previous slide, is going to be what all of these notes are going to be on. This will be the main body. And then finally, we have the conclusion, which will be a concluding remark to have us finish at the very end, to come up to about roughly 3 minutes. So you can see we've got 10 points that we can elaborate within 2 minutes. So if you divide 2 minutes by 10, that's approximately 15 seconds per point. It's not a long time to speak, right? So we organize this, we can actually make it quite effective in our process and how we move on. So a few ideas about how we can actually introduce ourselves in IELTS speaking part 2. It doesn't have to be an exact science, but a few templates that we can take away. For example, we can say, I would like to talk about my holiday in New Zealand, which I went on last year. I am going to talk about a trip I went to Auckland, New Zealand in 2016. The most memorable holiday I ever went on was to Auckland, New Zealand a few years ago in 2016. Something like that is an applicable template that we can use for introducing our topic. It's a good thing to actually do that at the beginning because it helps give us structure to what we are saying. Note that step 3 here has actually included the key topical word, which is memorable, in the discussion as well. So think about how we can use that and paraphrase that when we're actually given our speaking. So take a note of these guys, these 3 introductory remarks that we can use when beginning our IELTS speaking. And let me know if you use any of these in your IELTS speaking too. It'd be lovely to see if you actually do. Okay. So the main body, of course, we have many ways that we can talk about that and discuss about that. I'm going to go through a few recommendations and examples here. They include, I went with my best friend, and you can speak about what you did with your best friends. We went to, and you can explain where you went, what you did. We did so many amazing things on this holiday, but one thing that stands out was blah, 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 blah. So we've actually taken the key word in the question word, and we've reused that when we have been speaking overall. So think about how you can introduce the topic and the key question word when you begin to speak about your notes and your examples. So a few examples about how we can elaborate on our main body. And then finally, if you have time, you may go over all of this in your time management because 2 minutes isn't a long time to speak. We can actually take a few phrases that we can use to conclude our speaking and then finish up this point. So for example, I can say, it was such an amazing, fantastic trip doing all of these lovely things in Auckland with my friends. And that is why this trip was so memorable. Something like that is what we can use to conclude our trip and summarize it all at the very end. Now, a common thing that we actually have mentioned about IELTS speaking is that, oh, what if I don't get everything finished within the 2 minutes? Well, if you don't get everything finished, then you should just simply keep speaking up until the 2 minute mark has finished. And you can probably start thinking about a second example or elaborating on something else. That's a tip that we can do. And we'll go into more detail about that in our IELTS preparation course with Connetics USA. We might be doing one session on this as part of Connetics College sometime too. But what if you go over time? What if you haven't got to a conclusion by the time that you have spoken about your introduction and main body? Well, that's not a bad thing either. You are not actually assessed on everything that you have to speak about. Your goal is to speak as fluently and coherently for 2 minutes, ideally. So you don't actually have to have everything completed. You're not assessed in the content, but those notes are there to help you in forming the content when you are speaking. So don't worry if you do speak over. You want to speak for as long as you can, as fluently and coherently as possible from beginning to end. So don't worry if you don't get to the very end of your speaking when you're doing some of these notes, guys. Okay, so that's step 3, organizing our speaking. Now, what I want to do is I would like to do a little bit of practice with all of this. So I am going to start a timer very, very soon for 2 minutes of preparation when I show the card on the screen. I'm going to give a student or two a lucky chance to come in and actually give me their response in IELTS Part 2. I will give some feedback to your performance. I'll ask you some questions about your organizational skills, and I'll give you some comments on the scoring criteria in terms of how well I think you have done. I'm going to ask you what I think you did well and what you could do to improve as well, because that's the importance of feedback. Feedback gives you things that you can improve on and gives you a method and a pathway to actually getting your IELTS speaking to part and to a band 7 or above, which most of you guys are looking for. I also encourage everyone in this session today as well to, of course, take part in this activity by yourself, to write some comments, give some feedback, and give some encouragement as well. Okay, so try the questions yourself if you can. So I'm going to bring some candidates in very soon. Hopefully you've got a quiet background, a good internet connection, and ideally a webcam on as well. I like speaking to someone's face, not to a random voice behind the internet. So if you've got a webcam on, that would be lovely in giving you a chance to actually do some speaking practice with me. Okay, guys, so here's the card we're going to practice. It's different to the first card that we had, okay? So remember, all that we've spoken about is organization, is what you're being keyed on. So look at the key content words, write down a few notes in the content you're going to do, and then think about how you're going to organize all these ideas before you have a chance to speak about it for an entire 2 minutes, ideally. This could be the quickest 2 minutes of your life or the shortest 2 minutes of your life. So the timer has started, guys. I'm going to keep my voice down low, but 1 minute has started. Start organizing start looking at the keywords, writing down your content, and then thinking about how you can organize your response, speaking about this person that you admire. You can even speak about me if you like, guys. Maybe you don't know me well enough, but hopefully that you do enough. And then just think about how you are going to speak as fluently and coherently about this response as much as possible. All right. So think about your speaking speed, thinking about your pronunciation, thinking about your enunciation, and think about how you're going to pull this all together into a lovely speaking practice. Okay. Anyway, we're about 40 seconds in. We've got about 20 seconds left. I don't want to interrupt anyone too much by speaking too loud, but I look forward to introducing a few of you guys into this speaking session now and giving you a chance to get some IELTS speaking feedback with me. Okay, we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pens down, everyone. I'm being the strict examiner today. I'm asking everyone to put their paper and pens down, please. Sorry, it's just the way the IELTS exam is. Anyway, all right. Thank you very much for taking part. Okay, who should I bring into this session today? Who has their camera on? Who do I think really wants a chance to speak? Well, I'm going to give, I can see her smiling behind the screen. I'm going to give Agim Constance a chance to come in and do a bit of speaking practice with me. Agim, I'm going to turn on your camera in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you've been added to the stream, Agim. Hello.
Hello. How are you? Hello, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for your teaching. It's been very interesting.
I hope that you're enjoying it today.
I hope that you're enjoying it today. Yes, I am. Very well.
Fantastic. Well, tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you from? What is your dream after you pass the IELTS exam?
Hello?
Hello again. So I think what you might want to do is turn off the microphone, the sound in the Facebook. If you're watching it on Facebook, turn off the sound there. Only comes through
Hello, I can barely hear you.
All right, let's see if you can. Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, so again, tell me a bit about yourself.
Hello, please, can you come again?
Can you hear me again?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Very good. So tell me a bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Agim Constance. I'm a registered nurse and I'm currently Nigerian, currently working in Netherlands International School. And okay, that's basically about me.
That's good enough. Thank you for telling me about yourself. So again, are you ready to do some speaking practice today?
Yes, I'm ready.
Fantastic. So I'm going to timer for 3 minutes. When I start the timer, 2 minutes to speak. Write down some notes. Give it your best.
Yes.
Give it your best. You can do.
Okay.
Okay. Whenever you're ready. I will time you.
I'm ready.
Okay. Just start speaking. Breathe and relax.
Okay. So I would like to talk about someone I really admire. Her name is Mrs. Deepa Donald Hotspur. I met her during my work at Netherlands International School. She's actually the principal of Netherlands International School. And I saw some positive qualities in her, like she's multi-talented, she's calm, level-headed, she's someone that corrects someone easily, and she's always giving example, living by example. Let's say, for instance, most times when the teachers are not available to teach, she's always available to take up their roles, even though she didn't read that in school. So I really admire that part of her because she's multi-talented, she's easy to pick up a role, and she's easy to act fast in that role. I also learned some good things from her. I learned to be versatile. I learned to learn more outside my field. Like, let's say, for instance, I practice as a nurse, but when I get to school, I see myself also doing some teachings, doing some caregiving work, some things that are actually outside my practice. And I guess I learned all this from her. Thank you.
If you have another
If
40
you have another
seconds,
40
you
seconds,
So I
can
need
think
to
about a
put my
you can
second
think about
example if
like
you
an
like.
example if you like.
more examples. Okay, yes. I also thought of her role in kind of educating the teachers. I know most times when she finds out that there's someone that is lacking behind, maybe in his or her teaching roles, you see her coming up with ideas, you see her putting that one person through, and she's kind. Like I said, she's kind. Even though she is disciplined, she's quite a disciplinarian, but she
And
doesn't
time,
always.
my
My
dear.
dear.
2 minutes
2
is up.
minutes is up.
So on the day of the
So on the day
exam,
of the exam,
the examiner
the
would stop
examiner
you
would stop
after
you
2 minutes.
after
So I
2
want to
minutes.
stop
So I
you
want
as
to
well.
stop you as well.
Well
Okay.
done.
Well done.
So,
So,
how did you do?
how did you do?
What's your opinion of
What's
your
your
performance?
opinion of your performance?
Do you think you
Do you
were
think you
pretty
were
happy with that
happy with
experience?
that experience?
No,
Oh, why not?
Oh, why not?
I think I'm intermediate, so I'm not so experienced. I'm still trying.
Well, have you taken the
Well,
IELTS
have you
exam
taken the
before?
IELTS exam before?
No, I've not.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, in terms
But
of
in terms of
organization,
organization,
you clearly identified
you
the
clearly
keyword.
identified the keyword.
You created
You created
paraphrasing
paraphrasing
opportunities for them.
opportunities for them.
You
Okay.
clearly made use of notes because you were speaking very fluently. And when you were speaking, I think that you actually organized your answer quite well for the most part. But I'll go into a bit more feedback overall. But again, be kinder to yourself. Be much kinder to yourself. Be positive. Because actually, there's a lot about your speaking there that was actually very, very high quality. And you should be very, very happy with that. So let's go into a bit of feedback and how I think you got on altogether. So speaking about your pronunciation, general question I asked about your pronunciation was it's accurate and easy to understand. Your pronunciation is very, very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. So lots of individual sounds were actually pronounced incredibly accurately with only very minor slips. For example, the word learn, you said learn. Draw out learn, learn, learn. That was only one small example. In terms of how you can improve your pronunciation, well, I think that you are obviously quite a rapid speaker from Nigeria. If you could just slow down your speaking a little bit and draw out your sounds a little bit, obviously when you're in the exam and you're doing your speaking practice, what happens? We get anxious. And when we get anxious, we speak very fast, right? Just be very mindful about slowing down your speaking a little bit, drawing out your sounds a bit more, and enunciating your sounds. But apart from that, I thought you did a really, really good job about your pronunciation. Okay, fluency and coherence. You are an incredibly fluent speaker. You're actually speaking at what I would say would be an idiomatic level at for IELTS. You were saying using phrases like, well, what can I say? Like, what more do I want to say about this? That's quite idiomatic. And you were speaking about that so fluently as well. So you're incredibly gifted speaker when it comes to your fluency and coherence. Everything was being linked together very well. There was no real slowdown thinking about content. Maybe you're thinking about your next, what you're going to say next, but in terms of searching for language, I didn't get any of that. So well done. As I said, just think of ways that you can slow down your speaking a little bit, which will also improve your coherence and it will improve your pronunciation as well. But I think you did a very good job about logically connecting your ideas together. You could benefit probably from using some more IELTS-friendly linking words and devices too. I thought, well done, phenomenal. In terms of your grammatical range and accuracy, I maybe picked up a few small grammatical errors here and there. It wasn't so bad. For example, mixed up articles, but nothing really of serious note. So maybe you could improve that range a bit more, use a few more complex tenses, for example, but very, very good start. Well done. And finally, moving on to your lexical resource, lots of great words being used. Compound adjectives like multi-talented, versatile, great descriptive adjectives that were used there. So well done with that. I thought you did a great job with that speaking. The one thing I'm going to say to you to improve is you spoke for 1 minute 20, and then you kind of finished your response there. You want to be speaking ideally for the entire 2 minutes. So plan ahead. If I go through my response and I finish early, what backup information do I have to keep speaking for the entire 2 minutes? So can I elaborate on a point that I had previously? Maybe I need to speak a bit more in regards to some of the content. I should maybe slow down my speaking so that I actually drag out my time. Or can I even think about a second example that I can speak as well? So that'd be the main thing I would say. Again, think about your planning, think about your speaking time, and think about how you can maybe slow down your speaking a bit to improve your coherence a bit more, and maybe improve your pronunciation a bit as well in terms of enunciating those sounds and drawing them out. Okay. How is that for you? Is that good feedback? Were you happy to hear that?
Were you happy to hear that?
Yes, I'm very happy. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really
You are
appreciate
very
it.
welcome. It was lovely speaking to
You
you
are
as
very
well.
welcome.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the class. All right, guys, and that was again. I hope everyone enjoyed that little session today with her. That was phenomenal. Let me know how you thought that she got on in the chat box as well. Do you think that she was speaking at a level that you'd be happy with as well, or would you even do something else yourself too? But I think she did absolutely phenomenal. Give us some comments into the chat box and let me know if you appreciated her speaking response. But yeah, a lot of things were being done very well for there, and she should be very, very happy with herself. Hope you're enjoying this class today so far, guys. Throw us a comment into the chat box. Let us know if you're appreciating this part 2 speaking practice in motion. And also, of course, make sure that you're following, you're liking, you're subscribing to both Connetics USA and Swoosh English to be up to date with all of the content that we're going to be throwing out and helping nurses pass their IELTS exam and their NCLEX exams as part of the big move to the USA. So let's do one more example today. I want a chance to give one more student a bit of a chance to do some live practice. So like last time, guys, we have the card on screen. I want you to think about the strategies that we practice in that class, in our lesson today, about how to plan a part 2 answer. So think about 1, what the question and keywords are. Actually, I'm going to move on to the next example. We kind of done this one already. All right, I'm going to move on to this one. It's a bit different. So yeah, tricked you guys there and made you start thinking about memorable answer. Think about your keywords. Think about your question words. Think about what notes you're going to write down and how you're going to organize your answer as well. Make sure you don't speak too quickly or too slowly. But also make sure that you plan your answer ahead so that you can speak for the full 2 minutes in case you go through everything incredibly quickly. Think about the introduction you're going to use. Think about the key points you're going to have per bullet point. Think about how you're going to conclude your statement, and think about how you can actually use that again and again, guys. And also check out the comments as well, guys, for some comments coming in from the Swoosh English team and the Connetics team about how you can take part in some more live speaking practice here with us at Connetics USA and with Swoosh English. So, guys, let's start. 3, 2, 1. Preparation time has begun. Keep it down nice and low. I'll guide you through the process. Keywords, what are they? What do you need to underline? What do you need to be aware of? What are the question words? What points do you have about describing what you like doing at the weekend? How can you organize this from A to B, A to Z, or Z, should I say, as well? How are you going to introduce this topic? How are you going to conclude this topic? How are you going to link your ideas together? If you do run out of things to say, how can you speak for the entire 2 minutes with some additional content as well? Please keep that in mind about your preparation time and your preparation going. But I'm looking forward to having another chance to have someone here to do some preparation practice for IELTS speaking part 2 with me, Scott. We got 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that is time. Was that a really quick 1 minute, guys, or a really slow 1 minute? Let me know in the chat box. It probably was incredibly quick, right? So once again, I have to try and pick someone who has a camera, ideally. I like speaking to a face. someone who's got a quiet background and a good internet connection as well. So I'm going to give this opportunity to Barsa. Barsa, I'm going to turn on your camera in about 5 seconds. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Barsa, you're joining the stream. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are
Very
you?
nice. I'm very well, thanks. Lovely to meet you. How are you today?
I'm good. Same here.
I'm very, very happy to hear. And welcome to Connetics College. Welcome to the session today with me at Swoosh English. It's lovely having you here today. Can you tell us and everyone who's watching a little bit about yourself, where you're from, why you're in the session today, and do you want to move to the USA and pass your IELTS exam? Let me know.
Yes, sure. I am Barsa Bandari from Nepal, and it's nearby India. Hope everyone knows that. And I have passed my NCLEX back in 2021 August, and it's been quite long. However, I'm just struggling with this IELTS. In fact, I got band score 7 for each reading, writing, and 7.5 on listening. But unfortunately, I hooked up by zero point 0.5 on the speaking criteria. I think I need to work on pronunciation as per my instructor, Miss Elsie. So I think I will do that. And now, yes, I'm trying to give the second attempt. Hopefully, I could crack this in this so-called examination. So that's
That's
about me.
That's lovely, Barsa. So you're an existing scholarship student. Phenomenal. Thank you very much for joining me today. Are you enjoying your experience so far?
Oh, yes, definitely. Everyone is so cooperative, and especially uh, the team member from shows, they're really doing great. And I appreciate them.
That's lovely. Well, thank you very much for that kind feedback. But I want to just highlight the importance of what you said there is the feedback that you are getting. If you have to go up zero point 0.5 of a band score, you need to be aware about where you are, what you need to work on to improve your speaking performance. And you've just identified pronunciation there as a weak point of yours. So I'll be taking a special note of pronunciation today when we go through your speaking practice today. Okay. Lovely. Well, thank you very much for that introduction, Barsa. Enough speaking from me. Are you ready to start speaking?
Sure.
All right. So the timer's ready to go. As soon as you start speaking, I'll start the timer. I want you to breathe. Most importantly, breathe. Take it slow. Slow down your speaking a little bit and enjoy this experience as much as you can. Because I know you're online doing speaking practice. Try your best to ignore that as much as possible. And think about, that you're really speaking to a friend or a family member versus, speaking in IELTS speaking practice today. I think it will improve your performance. Okay? So do your best just to
Take it
relax.
in consideration.
You're very, very welcome. So, Barsa, over to you. Whenever you are ready, start speaking and I will start the timer.
Okay. I'm done with all this preparation thing.
Okay, over to you, my friend.
I would like to talk about part of outdoor activities that I love to do, and it's none other than gardening. In fact, as a part of those exercise, I mostly indulge myself in doing all those chores and planting flowers. So, in fact, it really excites me a lot whenever I see a flower blooming all around, and it actually gives me a positive vibration. And moreover, it helped me to coordinate well with my eyes and hand movement. So that's what I love. And at the first glance, when I started was back in early 20s when I was a little girl, and my grandfather, he really did great job by letting me know some species of plants. So as he was himself a botanical teacher, I got a chance to know various types of plants, and mostly the vegetations were rarely found in my locality. Um, Nevertheless, we got some ideas and we planted successfully, and it was really captivating for me. And I mostly do it with my grandfather, as I have mentioned before. And if I ever get a chance to have some distinct flower around me, then yes, I won't just purchase it. I will definitely pour some water and to take care of that, just like a little child. So for me, gardening is a kind of passion, which I don't mind putting all my hard-earned money. So that's what I do. And being a grandchild of a really biological person, I mean, the one who is really enthusiastic about botanical things. So I'm
Thank
really
you, Barca. That's 2 minutes, so you can stop speaking now, like the examiner would say. So, first and foremost, well done. Thank you very much for letting me hear you speak today. Congratulations. So, bit of self-feedback. How do you think you did? Let me know what you think in terms of your
uh,
performance there with that speaking practice.
I think I have some agitations, and that can't be denied. Yeah, I had.
Nothing too major, don't worry. But I love this. Whenever I ask a student, how did you get on? What do you do? Everyone goes, oh, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. You go to the
I just.
negatives, right? So what do you think you did well? Let me think. What do you think your strong points are, Barca?
I think it's lexical resource, I guess.
There was definitely some lovely idiomatic phrases in there, like positive vibrations. So well done for that. I think you're quite strong at that. We'll go into a bit more feedback about that very soon. How did you find the organizational techniques that we went through today? Identifying keywords, making notes, organizing your answer. Do you think that you found that useful today?
In fact, I went through all the bullet points. I mean, when with whom, if I did it solo as a solitary work or not. And I have mentioned that I did with my grandfather as he was really enthusiastic about botanical things. So I try to mention as far as I can. However, I'm not be that expert. I
Well, you
guess.
don't forget, you don't have to teach us how botanical gardening works, as long as obviously it makes sense in the English language. So you have plenty of material to speak about. You're obviously speaking from your heart as well, speaking about your grandfather. That was nice. I think you did quite a good job of organizing all of that material as well. So well done. So let's go through some of the speaking assessment criteria that we've gone through. I'm going to focus on pronunciation because yes, I think that pronunciation, with the feedback you've been getting from Elsa, our expert IELTS teacher in our Swoosh English Connetics Scholarship course, has identified that pronunciation is the one area that you want to improve. Now, a couple of things I picked up on here is the sound S. Sometimes when you are saying S, I hear sh, sh. So for example, you were saying my shelf
My
instead of myself.
myself,
Not my shelf, myself. Can you say one more time?
myself.
Perfect. Myself. Second example was the word see. As in I see, you were saying she. She.
Oh, see.
See. So be very mindful about that today, Barca, is pronunciation. Of course, we have the SH sound, which is sh, but we have the basic S sound as well. S and sh. Myself, see. Myself, see.
See. See. Okay. I'll
So
take
just
care of this.
sure,
Thank you
just
so.
you're very welcome. Take note of that with some pronunciation, because if you're saying these sounds, they would be inaccurate and they might build up with your with the examiner's remarks. Okay. One more word that had a slight word stress error was coordinate. Coordinate.
Coordinate.
You were saying
Coordinate.
yes, it's 4 syllables. Coordinate. You were saying coordinate.
Oh,
Coordinate. So you were actually missing the coordinate.
coordinate.
There we go. Well done. Okay. Another thing I heard was the word purchase.
Oh,
Purchase.
purchase.
Purchase. Yeah. So you're saying purchase, and that's how we would read it. Purchase. We would say purchase, but actually it's a shorter sound when native English speakers say it. Purchase. Purchase.
Purchase.
Very good. Very good. So just a few things there. One more was the word mention, as in I mentioned to my family. You said mansion, like a big house, mansion.
Yeah.
So it's
Man,
mention, mention.
that's my a really greatest mistake. That's what I do in repeated way.
Okay. Well, what you should be doing in your own time is being aware about any habits that you have in your pronunciation patterns and drilling yourself to say it appropriately. Just go take away some of these phrases today, drill them, practice them, start doing control practice with them, and you'll surely improve with your pronunciation, and keep getting expert feedback in our IELTS classes as well. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So just a bit of finer, oh, hello, Barca. You can say if you like a couple of small things I want to say. You're completely fine is fluency and coherence. A little bit of hesitation while you were thinking about content well, but you linked your ideas together. I love some words like moreover and nevertheless, some good linking devices to join your ideas together. There were a few small errors with grammar here, such as you said, vegetations. When vegetation, sorry, is not countable. We wouldn't say vegetation, so vegetation. And then finally, I thought your lexical resource was good. As I said, there were some phrases like positive vibration, which I thought were amazing as well. I did focus on pronunciation today, so that's where I wrote down most of my notes. And that's the area I want you to focus on in your practice, is pronunciation of these phrases and anything else you might be saying a little bit inaccurately. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much, Barca. It's been lovely meeting you today. Good luck with your IELTS preparation and your Swoosh English, IELTS Connetics USA scholarship course as well. And wish you the best of luck with your preparation.
Thank you. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of the class. All right, guys. And that was Barca. I hope that you enjoyed her speaking practice there in the session today. Let me know how you thought that she got on as well. Give us some comments, give us some feedback, give us some support for Barca in the comment section as well. I love the fact that we all support each other with the Swoosh English Preparation IELTS Scholarship today as well. So yeah, throw your comments in, throw us a like, throw us a comment, whatever you like to do. And just say a big congratulations to both Agim and Barca today for their speaking practice. That was phenomenal. So guys, of course, there was lots of benefit today from doing some speaking practice. I want you to think about reflecting upon your own speaking today as we wrap this session up. What did you learn about IELTS speaking today? What was your big takeaway point? Let us know the number one thing that you learned and have benefited from this session today. What did you enjoy in today's lesson first and foremost? And think to yourself, what do you need to improve the most in your own IELTS speaking as well? Throw your comments into the chat box. Let everyone else read them. We're looking forward to reading them ourselves. And yeah, reflection is a super important part of the IELTS speaking and all parts of IELTS preparation to pass successfully, ideally the first time, and not spend as much money as you should on IELTS exam fees. So looking forward to seeing your comments, guys. All right, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go the right way. So first and foremost, let's wrap up by talking to you about, a lot of you told me today that you are a qualified and experienced nurse. You may be NCLEX passed already. If not, it's not a problem. And you're looking for your dream healthcare job in the USA. Once again, remind me if that's you, send me into the chat box. If that is also you, let us know in the chat box. Let me know as well if you are currently struggling with your IELTS preparation. Now, lots of candidates overlook IELTS preparation for moving to the USA. They think about NCLEX only, and that's why the IELTS exam has a pass rate of 3 to 4 times. We want to avoid you struggling with your IELTS prep and taking it 3 to 4 times. So let us know in the chat box by saying struggle as well. Finally, I want to remind you as well that if you're looking to pass your IELTS exam as quickly and cheaply as possible, aka for free, move to the USA and get placed in your dream job for free as well, please send please into the chat box. Let me know if this is you. If you are looking to do all of this for completely free, send please into the chat box. A reminder of the free Connetics Swoosh English IELTS scholarship that we are doing that gets you all of this for completely free. You benefited from this session today. You got a taste for what we at Swoosh English can do for you in your IELTS preparation. Well, why not come and join us and do it more for completely free, guys? A reminder of what we will offer. It's a complete IELTS review course. You'll get access to weekly live classes, including speaking mock exam classes like you have today. We'll put you in free groups with study partners. There's a free Facebook group. There's a free Telegram group that will match you, have you part of a supported community. You'll get access to a Connetics IELTS support specialist and the Swoosh English support team as well. And we have a monthly IELTS raffle for Connetics scholars too. What do you get as part of your course? Well, there's 8 modules with 8 tests. Those modules consist of video courses, mock exams, and other activities with quizzes that will help you consolidate your IELTS methods, strategies, tips, and techniques, all presented by expert IELTS teachers like myself in these sessions. IELTS writing is super important. We're going to give you access to 20 of your IELTS Task 1 and Task 2 responses completely marked and graded by our expert teachers. If you can't attend any of the 12 hours of live classes that we have per week, you can watch them back recorded, meaning our courses are entirely flexible around you and your nursing needs. We all know you work incredibly varied patterns. My sister is a nurse, for example, and she works all over the clock. Well, we want to give that to you too. You'll get access to mock exams and sample essays for you to compare your feedback to, and do mini IELTS mock real exams for free consistently. We'll match you with a speaking partner, and we'll give you around-the-clock support from Swoosh and Connetics as more, meaning all of your questions are answered, all of your feedback is given, and all of your fears are allayed with IELTS preparation. Let us guide you to IELTS passing success the next time rather than 3 or 4 times. But ultimately, you'll do all of that for free as well. How nice is that? And in addition to that, it's not just the IELTS scholarship that Connetics USA is offering you as well. We'll get you prepared for the visa interview. We'll get you set up for your green card. We'll get you set up and credentialed, not just IELTS, but everything else that needs to be done. We'll get you set up for moving to the USA, support when you arrive, and get you set up in the hospital as part of that too. All of this for completely free. And if you're interested in that, guys, all you have to do is click in the comments. There's a link coming into the comments that says bit.ly Swoosh English USA to get signed up today. There's going to be a little banner appearing on the screen now in a moment as well, which will give you a link to signing up to the Swoosh English Connetics Scholarship. So click on the link in the chat box. Get in touch with the Connetics team if you have more information, but we'd love to get you signed up ASAP, help you with your IELTS preparation, get you into the USA, in the hospital that you want to work in ideally the state that you want to work in, all for completely free. How nice is that? So guys, just a reminder that Swoosh English will be doing monthly IELTS preparation lessons with Connetics USA and Connetics College. So make sure, first and foremost, that you're following Swoosh English, you're following Connetics USA on our Facebook channels, our YouTube channels as well. Our next Swoosh English IELTS preparation class will be on the 11th of July. We're going to do a session on IELTS listening, how to follow a lecture or talk. So we're going to actually delve into IELTS listening Part 4, which is the long monologue, the trickiest part of IELTS listening. We're going to delve into that. So follow us, keep up to date with everything that we're doing, and we'd love to have you in the next IELTS listening session here with Connetics USA and Swoosh English. Okay, guys, well, that kind of brings the session to a close today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this session. Let me know in the chat box if you did enjoy this session. I'm sure that you did. Hope you got a lot out of it. And a reminder, get signed up to the Swoosh English Connetics Scholarship ASAP. We'll get you passed. We'll get you in the hospital. We'll make it much easier for you throughout the process, and we'll help you with your IELTS preparation as well. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the next session. Thanks a lot for joining. I'm Scott from Swoosh English. Pleasure hosting you guys today. Take care. Have a great day, and see hopefully some of you again very, very soon. Goodbye.